Hey everybody, it is the Wish You Were Beer show back again. Ba-ba-da-ba! Thank you guys for stopping by.
Opening so far.
I mean, honestly,
It took us 66 shows, but we are doing it.
But
for the record,
I think that's the opening.
I watched Seinfeld earlier, so naturally that came about.
That makes sense.
Thanks everybody for stopping by. If it's your first time watching the show, for some crazy reason you stumbled upon this just shit show, make sure you like and subscribe it.
Like and subscribe before you even watch it. Just hit like and subscribe.
It's my favorite. I do it all the time.
Don't forget you did it anyways. So
correct. Yeah. Like, subscribe it, maybe hit the notification bell so that way if you're in a different time zone or you're in a different country even, you'll get notifications whenever we go live or whenever we post new footage in some capacity.
And it'll be like a surprise every time, like, what? They're on!
Every time my YouTube notification goes off at like 3 in the afternoon, or like, usually it's actually around 12. Like, I'm like, oh, Simo Sups just went live.
Yeah, because he's in England.
God,
right.
Shout out to Simo Sups.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I will watch him live every time. I'm gonna stop watching our show. I'm just gonna watch his from now on.
You've seen our episodes?
I don't watch our show.
Oh no. I mean, I've seen. I have to edit some things, so I have to watch a little bit. But
I think you've probably seen more of the actual footage than Tiffany and I combined because you have to.
Yeah, I have a problem with watching myself. I'm not interested.
See, I love watching myself.
Check my OnlyFans.
Yeah. It's just me watching myself in a mirror. That's watching my OnlyFans.
Yeah, there's an oscillating fan and me.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, if it's your first time coming by the show or you've been by the show plenty of different times, 1, thank you. And 2, make sure you like and subscribe. If you go down to the About section, we've got all of our social media, our website, all the beer subscription services that we use to get some of the beers that we don't, naturally source out ourselves. So make sure you check into all those things. There's some discounts. There's,
I don't know. You should go look.
I don't even know it's there anymore. I think it's just a link to my OnlyFans at this point.
Can you imagine?
No,
I actually hope that's where it goes eventually.
No.
Like Phil just cashes in his cards and he's like, well, now I have an OnlyFans and I will use this show to gain OnlyFans viewership.
Good luck out there, Phil.
It's probably got more subscribers than us. So.
True story. And if you haven't noticed, this week's episode is actually sponsored by OnlyFans. And I'd like... Can you imagine like an OnlyFans like commercial rolls?
Oh man, I'm gonna make one.
But if you do follow us on Instagram as well, Instagram's probably where we spend most of our time, but we're also on Twitter. The website is a great way to keep up on past episodes, all the beers that we've done. Untapped is another great way to keep up on what beers we've had both on the show and personally.
Yep.
So we use Untapped pretty much exclusively to check in all of our beers, to rate our beers, so we can catalog them and also take pictures of them and do, nerdy beer stuff.
Yep.
So down in the About section, you can find the show Untapped. You can find all of our individual Untaps, which is kind of fun. You can follow along with us when we drink on our own or when we drink on the show, which is a good time.
Yep.
And I think I covered it.
I think you've hit everything.
Yeah, I think I covered everything.
I think you may have double covered.
Yeah, well,
you might have.
It's important to double cover.
Anyone who is watching this for the first time is like, I think they just talk about subscribing to them throughout the whole hour.
It's been like 5 minutes of us being like, I don't know.
Isn't that what this YouTube world is, though?
Yeah. It's
like
an intro of asking to subscribe, an outro of asking to subscribe, and then 2 minutes in between.
I hate to be the old man in the room, but yes, that's all YouTube is a bunch of requests for subscription. Like, please, we're basically door-to-door newspaper or magazine salesmen. I'd like to sell you a subscription. The first one's $1.25. After that, it's 1 cent per magazine.
Good deal. And you get 5 CDs.
Could you even imagine? I love that Dave comes in and says hello to Vero. Oh, hey, Dave.
Well, they're talking in the comments section.
Did we just chop liver, I guess?
Our comment section gets pretty intense sometimes. I don't know if you've noticed.
What with the swearing and the bigotry.
They get real violent.
I don't think that's what happens.
Don't let Simo Sups in there. He'll destroy everyone.
Yeah, but no one will understand it because he's very British. And also, if you guys haven't checked out Dave from Beer in Front, he is such a good guy. He runs a really good show. He's out of Chicago. He does a lot of old school beers, new beers. So make sure you go check out Beer in Front as well because he's fantastic and he's recently been ordained. He's a reverend now.
Mm-hmm. So if you need a person to,
if you need someone to officiate a wedding, cancel a wedding, do a funeral, you got it.
I've got some gripes. With Dave.
Do you?
Yeah, because he's got this great podcast voice, right?
Correct.
Sounds fantastic. You could just listen to his voice all day. So he kills it in the podcast world.
Yeah.
Dave put up a little video beer review today.
Yeah.
And showing his face and everything. Dave, save some viewers for the rest of us, man. Stay in your You don't get to show your beautiful face and also have a great podcast voice. No, it doesn't work.
That does seem a little unfair.
Yeah. Like, we're on here video because we don't have that great voice.
No. Well, he thinks yours is the gold. He thinks yours is the one.
Look, if Dave and my voice want to date, they're more than welcome to.
You know what's funny to me
wonderful.
is I think I may agree if I couldn't see you. But like I've known you for so long.
Your face ruins it.
The face just ruins that voice. It's just the worst.
Your face is kind of pretty when your mouth's not screwing it up. I think that's the Goonies. Yeah, that's the Goonies.
That is the Goonies.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I don't know where that just came from.
Oh, man.
All right. So all things being said.
We're still doing a show? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany. That's Phil. Phil, how are you?
We're at that point of the show where we're now saying that?
Even are.
What are we doing? What's happening tonight?
We're at 8 minutes in. So this is where I say hello to you. Like I haven't talked to you before today.
What's going on?
I've just been doing a lot of driving.
Oh, yeah. This is what our viewers come in just to hear a casual conversation about
naturally.
Yeah, just...
They're not here to learn about beer or anything or speak to brewers. They're just here to have us say, yeah, I hung out today.
I'm okay with that.
The house. Yeah, that's what everyone's here for.
Is that what you did?
All right, well,
that
like and subscribe. And no.
You hung out today and left the house. Was that your day?
I walked out of the house today at one point. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, okay. I went and got the mail and came back inside. It was great.
Wow.
Fantastic day.
Wow.
Yeah. But my day's not done yet. It's only 5:00 here.
You know, I still forget about that, in all honesty. Mm-hmm. When we were talking about
it's the murder room. It could be any time of day in this murder room.
I was going to say, yeah. Wherever you keep your blood samples, whether it's in the AC unit or in one of those wall panels, there's no time frame.
I like my victims to just be confused, not knowing how long they've been in here, you know.
It's like Vegas where there's no clocks.
No. Nope.
I'm for it.
So have you gone to any breweries this week, Phil? Because I actually didn't talk to you much this week.
Well, after every show, I do head over to Lawless Brewery here in North Hollywood. And it was funny because the first time I ever went there, so they do bingo every Thursday night, and that is just my jam. Like, give me a game where there's no real skill involved, but I can win beer. Like, sign me up. So every Thursday after the show, I head over there and I play bingo. And the first time I went there, the guy running bingo, really kind of cool guy. He was super nice to me. I was sitting there alone, as I do, have no friends, and he just like talked me up, and I was like, this guy's great. And I was talking about the brewery, and I was like, yeah, it's a really cool place, and blah blah. And I go back the next week, and he's there again, but he's not hosting. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I go on their website, and he is the owner of the brewery.
Oh, nice.
Like, I'm literally just like casually talking. I was like, what did I say? Did I say anything bad? Thinking he's just like an employee, but no, it's pretty good. So
no, I did all right.
Yeah, good for you, but I love it. He's there all the time. He's a super nice guy. Just opened up a brewery in North Hollywood, and it does really well. It's a great little spot. So
that's cool.
Going there.
I always think it's fun to like. I think those like chance encounters, especially with like an owner or like a head brewer, like that are always fun because you do make like a weird like beer friendship, and like I think it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter who they are at that point. They're obviously into the same thing as you, so like it's that equal like common ground of just, hey, I like beer, you like beer, you like hanging out, cool.
Yeah.
Let's hang
And there's
out.
nothing better than knowing an owner of a brewery, because then you walk in and they say hi to you, and it's just like you
And
just
then
like
you're
walk in. It
watching
feels like home.
Yeah. That is a good thing. We're fortunate enough in our area that we know a lot of the brewers and a lot of the owners and a lot of the breweries in general.
Yep.
Which is nice, because if you go somewhere, like you said, you end up running into like 20 people that maybe you only talk to once a month, but it feels like you're longtime friends, or you have this one thing in common, which is great.
Where did
Yeah.
we go the other day where we walked in? They're like, I feel like beer royalty just walked in.
Oh, when we went, no, it was.
I was like, I'm sorry, who?
It was
like
when
looking
we were-
behind me, like, oh, that's not me.
we were
And then
coming
you took your cape off and your crown, and you were like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking
Oh
about?"
no, I adjusted it. Actually, it was a little.
It never comes off, Phil. No, it was when we were coming back from Baltimore, and we stopped in
Montrose.
Montrose Brewery, which is up on the northern
Yeah,
neck.
we go like twice a year.
Maybe, yeah, at best. And like the owner was out there like sitting at a picnic table, and as soon as we walked out with our beer, she was like, and I was like,
Well, we didn't even make it
She-
inside, and she's like waving at us, and I was like, I think I know this person, but like
Right.
it took me like a good 30 seconds to like place it, and so I was like,
she follows our Instagram.
And I was like,
we met her
I
one
am
of the
a
first
terrible
times we
person.
were out there.
Yeah.
And she follows our Instagram. So she
Yeah.
obviously knows our face well. And so
Yeah.
like
She doesn't know my face well because she follows my OnlyFans.
no,
But,
yeah. She knows you from the waist down though. That's all that matters, Phil.
But speaking of having good friends at good breweries, what are we doing tonight, and what is the exciting news of tonight?
Oh, we should.
Yeah.
Let me grab the beer first, I guess. So I'm not a
Yeah.
jackass.
one of our local breweries is called Tradition, and we have some of their people.
We're not gonna bring them on yet because we have to show the video
Yes.
first. I know how this show works.
However,
Well-
we've got some brewers waiting in the wings to be asked any question by our live audience here.
Ooh, dangerous.
So
I'm
get
gonna step
excited,
it up.
everyone. It's been a while since we've had some breweries on, and I'm excited because I love these shows. These are always my
Trey, my only fans is just me drinking beers.
Yep.
The shitty part is, Trey, I think I subscribed to that.
And it's a hefty fee.
You owe me $7, asshole. So this week we are doing a beer that's local to Tiffany and I.
I think
so
it's our closest currently.
it is our closest brewery to where we live. So we are doing Public Presentation, which is from Tradition Brewing. They're out of Newport News, Virginia. And if I know anything about this show, I think Phil actually has like maybe a small snippet of what the brewery looks like.
Maybe.
Yeah, and when we get back, we'll have the brewers on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Strawberry on my lips and your fingertips. I can feel the beat running through the speakers. Blue skies, blue waves, every day's a good day. Lazy Sunday afternoon, I'ma take Monday off too. Ooh.
Holy crap, Kevin and Abby.
We even gave you a warning.
Don't be girl.
So I'd like to thank Kevin and Abby. They're the two brewers. Do you guys do like a head brewer situation, or are you guys just the brewers?
I guess we'd say that I'm the head brewer.
Okay. Okay.
And then she's the assistant brewer, but it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin, do you call yourself a brewmaster?
No, that's something I will not do. No, it seems a little pretentious.
Who do we have that title for multiple people on this show? We're like, well, obviously you're the brewmaster, and they were like, no, I'm not, and we're like, that's all we're gonna call you now.
Yeah. Now you're just the brewmaster.
Some people are labeled brewmaster on their websites.
I think if you pay the elevated only fans, that he will call himself. a
Oh,
brewmaster.
yeah.
Oh,
That's a different fee though. That's the
That's a different product.
So Kevin, you're the head brewer. Abby, you're the assistant brewer, if you will, for sake of referencing things. I got my favorite question to everyone is always the same from a brewer standpoint. What's your favorite beer to brew?
For me, it's always going to be stouts or porters. Just having that dark malt in there that smells like coffee or chocolate, and doing that, mashing that in first thing in the morning. It's a wonderful smell.
Yeah, I dig it.
For me, it's anything that I can slowly start doing more independently. So I've got a couple brews under my belt, but they've all been highly assisted, and I don't have one of my own recipes in production right now. So anything for the learning process for me is great.
Yeah, that's great.
I think we're at an annual review. I think Kevin, you got to listen to Abby over there. She's telling you right now. Give me more control.
I don't even ask for that.
I'm throwing it to the wolves.
Yeah, he really is.
follow-up question. Favorite beer to drink?
So One City is our session IPA that we did in collaboration with Flat Out, which is a run group that comes to our brewery every Wednesday. And they do once a year. They sponsor the One City Marathon, and we have been doing a special beer for them for that. And this year, I decided to do a session IPA. It was made with Citron Galaxy, 4.3%, super light but hoppy and flavorful, and it's one of my go-tos when I'm done brewing.
Nice.
It's either that or it's going to be the Slack Tide Stout, which is our dry Irish.
Which is delicious.
I think we drank both of those last night with you, so thank you. Today's been a great day.
I woke up with a headache.
Yeah.
He was a peach to work with today.
It was a rough morning.
That's our bad.
So what about you, Abby? What's your favorite beer, either from Tradition to drink or even just your favorite style?
Oh, that's a really good question. I definitely like something a little bit more funky. I wish there were more Saison out there. That's one of my faves. So I wish there was a stronger representation out there in the world, because I'd love to get my hands on more of those. But also, I love playing the game with ordering beers after work and having them in my glass and Kevin being like, "What did you get?" I'm like, "Well, you tell me."
Yeah.
Favorite games, because he's like, "What did you even order?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me." So that's one of my favorite games.
I love it.
I also like the disco sheet and then drinking down, and I call it the Lord's work. So if there's like a lot of kegs of something, I'm like, "Oh, I guess we'll just have one of those." And I'm just doing the Lord's work.
It's literally, so you hit on two things recently, Abby, in the past 1 minute of talking. Saisons, yes, 100%. It's my favorite beer. Give me the funk. Give me all the Brett. I want all the smoke, as the kids say. Two, doing the Lord's work is a consistent term. If you go through our group chat, it's once a week where I take one Instagram for the show, and I'm like, I'm just out here doing the Lord's work while y'all are, I don't know, working on.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm working.
Yeah.
Some of us are working.
We're working too.
We are also
So I have to say, like, before we started doing this show, like, I wasn't very knowledgeable on beer, and I've learned a lot throughout the time, but I did not know what a Saison was before we started the show, and now I hear it a lot. So I think you're going to see more of them, because I am hearing them more and more as we keep doing this show.
Is it just from Daniel? Because that's not
I
actually...
think it's probably just me talking about it.
I don't think it is, though. I feel like I see them more on menus now than I used to ever see. I mean, maybe I'm recognizing the language more, but it almost feels to me like the people who used to be hardcore IPA drinkers, because there was always that like moment where everyone was like, ugh, you like IPAs? And now everyone likes IPAs. So I feel like those drinkers are now like, well, now what's even funkier and weirder? And so they're moving over to the Saisons, and then we're going to see a whole bunch of people move with them at some point.
I started a band recently that's called Saison Revolution. Actually, it's a reggae
One-man band. It's just you in the
Well,
garage.
it's one man, yeah, but and a lot of computers.
Oh, you're Charlie Puth in it. All right.
Charlie Puth in it. That's a weird reference.
Trey, I like saisons too, but more of a triple person because I don't value my safety.
Oh, that makes good sense. 100% agree, buddy.
Yeah, that is a dangerous game to play.
That is a dangerous
Couple in and you're like, I feel different.
So now we know, Abby, we know obviously that, you know, you mentioned you haven't done a lot of your own standalone beers or recipes. So I assume you haven't been brewing that long. How long has either one of you been brewing beer?
I'll take the short answer on that because my tenure is much shorter. I spent 15 years in the front of the house. So I spent a lot of time bartending various different places throughout Ohio and Pittsburgh and Louisiana and now Virginia. I made the transition last March into the back of the house out of a passion for production, a desire to create, and a work ethic that can't be sustained by wearing a bow tie. So I lucked and faked my way into this position and have just been utilizing my different various backgrounds and trying to keep my foot in the door, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling out all the stops. So I wear my tool belt every day. But with Kevin, I'm really been given the latitude to start developing the creative side that I used to work with cocktails because I have a strong background in cocktail development and menu development there. So I'm trying to transition and use the knowledge that I use with spirits and wine and transition them into beer production.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And for me, so I started as a home brewer back when I was in the Army. And when I left the Army in 2012, it was to become a professional brewer. And I've been doing that ever since. I started brewing down in Florida at a little place called McGuire's Irish Pub in Destin, Florida. And moved over, was the head brewer there for a couple of years before the family moved up to Virginia. And then I was brewing at Aleworks for a little while. I was on the production line, and then I worked as a brewer. And this position opened up in December, and I took it. So, and
Very cool.
I'm excited to do it. And speaking of saisons, I've got one scheduled for the end of the month to be brewed.
Yeah, we talked about this last night.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. You know it's my jam.
Yeah.
Tell me that. I wasn't planted, I promise.
Yeah.
But apparently he is listening to you because now
Yes.
you guys are brewing a saison. So
And we
The saison's been scheduled way far.
we have a long running kind of joke on this show because Tiffany and I are in Virginia, obviously. you know.
what?
And we, with doing a lot of the Virginia breweries of people that we've gotten close to over the years and that we've had on the show on and off again, we have a long running joke of everyone originally comes from Aleworks.
Yeah.
Like when I found out like where you came from, Kevin, I was like, well, of course. Like I don't know why I assumed anything else. He was born there.
For the NFL.
Yeah, they hire people well, and they do like it seems like they have really good like startup training, and then you like graduate to another brewery, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Amongst the guys that have also left, like Adrian over at Carrier's Brewing Company, I
Yep.
worked with him, and now he's the head brewer over there. We consider Aleworks to be kind of a university for brewers.
Yeah, for sure.
As much as it pains them to have people leave, but I mean, they're a beer factory. They're doing the job right, and they're training people well.
Oh yeah, and turnover is turnover. You got to expect it to some degree, especially. You know, I don't think of the brewery like the bar, but like you think of a restaurant or a bar world, you're going to have some turnover between back of house, front of house.
Well,
I mean, that's normal.
That and then there's not always room to grow, and so in order to grow, you got to go out, and
Yeah.
it's not like a negative thing. It's just a hey, like my career is progressing, and
Yep, absolutely.
And that's
And if we've learned anything from the beer world, we know that they all are pretty friendly amongst each other.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
no
I
hard
go
feelings.
for stage all the time. Hang out with Kyle. Yeah, we're all brewers. There's a community amongst us.
Yeah, which I think, honestly, I think that's been one of the most fun parts for Tiffany and I specifically, especially in our local area.
Yeah.
Of just figuring out how tightly wound that industry is and how tightly like everyone is interconnected in some capacity.
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks from every brewery we've known for longer than we even thought we knew them from other places.
Yep.
Not even necessarily the brewery world, but it's like, oh yeah, you worked here, you went here. Like, oh yeah, well, we kind of know all the same damn people.
Yeah.
It was particularly helpful for, I think, me and also Kevin, who moved from out of state. I moved here in 2020. So like hitting the ground running and getting into the beer community is definitely like one of the strongest moves that you can make, just because everyone is close-knit. You're always down to have a good time. You're always down to have conversation. It's a very community-driven effort. You get a lot of different functions and events. There's tons of crafts and makers involved with everything. So you find yourself, if you are a creative like maker type person and you inundate yourself within the craft brewing industry, no matter which state you find yourself in, you will find yourself surrounded by like-minded people in various ways that is really, really fulfilling and inspiring.
That is awesome.
It is a beautiful thing. And I think Phil's figuring some of that out now. Breweries aren't just bingo.
Oh no, I zoned out for a second. Sorry. I was more concerned. I was more concerned about Abby because she said she lived in like 5 different states. So we'll have an offline conversation about her witness protection program.
I have a better room than you. Let's just start there.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk about Phil's murder room. Don't judge her.
I've just gotten out of the state scot-free.
I'm trying to get the FBI off of me. I'm trying to push them somewhere else. All right.
And here I am on a public platform.
Yeah.
You say murder room enough on a podcast, and people will start paying attention.
They'll start showing up.
Mhm.
We will sell beer however it takes.
I'm just trying to get subscribers. You know.
Even if they're all the Bundys of the world, whatever. All right, so
Only fans of murder.
I'm excited about
murder.
I'm excited about our next segment because especially with you, Kevin, because you're kind of newish to tradition. So I'm wondering if you're going to be able to know these answers.
What is
we're about to get into?
I don't think we know the next section. No one's announced it yet.
I forget what it's called. Tiffany, do you know what it's called?
I believe it's history and facts.
Oh. So, I love that damn intro. So this is the portion of the show typically where we go through a little bit of history and facts, either about the brewery, the beer, the people involved. It's kind of morphed a little bit more into trivia, but we'll never get rid of that initial sound clip that will live forever.
Yeah.
So this is a chance for people watching the show and for me and everyone else who doesn't know anything about anything to be wrong on every question. But if you're logged into YouTube, you can actually comment along and play trivia with us. You'll probably win because I will lose. And that's fine. And there's no animosity about that. It doesn't have to be about me winning every goddamn week. So make sure you follow along. If you're logged into YouTube, comment along, and let's play some trivia about this beer/brewery.
True or false? Tradition Brewing Company was the first brewery to open in Newport News, Virginia.
Okay, I'm born and raised in Newport News, Virginia. That is 100% true.
I'm going to say true because I feel like, once again, this is one of those questions where if it wasn't true, it's such a weird fucking question to ask when you have people on the show.
No, true story. True story.
Yeah. So I'm going with true on this one.
Okay. I know this answer, so this is an easy one for me. So
See,
true.
look, I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, thank you. I get one right this week.
Just one.
Yeah.
No, I feel like you're gonna know a lot of them because we have been.
You're pandering to me now?
No, we've been coordinating with Tradition for not even just this week, but
Okay.
it's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think everybody got this one to some degree. We know Vero did her homework.
So in 2014, Tradition started sketching out their plans for the brewery.
Mhm.
And actually, there was a really interesting history, not only from like Virginia laws, but also just zoning ordinances that happened within the Newport News area. So in 2012, Virginia actually passed a law that actually allowed breweries or alcohol to be sold on site, like in a glass, which allowed for breweries to start creating beer. And then in 2014, I think I should have written this down and bolded it, but I did not bold it for myself. In 2014, the city ordinances, I cannot say that word, changed, and then you were able to actually do that on like different properties. So there was actually a brew pub in Newport News in 1997.
Okay.
But they closed in 2001, but it was because they had the restaurant that it kind of like got away with it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it wasn't until at least 2012 that breweries were even allowed.
That makes good sense, actually. And for the record, just for a little personal history, the company that I work for, one of our first large-scale Christmas parties was at the second story of Tradition the first year they opened. So we got everyone a room at the Marriott. That's like a stone's throw from it. We walked over to Tradition. We had it catered on the second story. We had 30 employees plus their spouses and whoever else, and we partied hard.
More personal history. I had a beer with your brother on the second
Well, this show is over.
balcony. No. Record, we met through his brother. No, but he was the one who convinced me to download Untapped.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And my third check-in, because I hadn't gone back to Tradition, was Red Willie, which is still in production.
Yeah, true story. Okay, so here's my question for the brewers. When's the first time you were in Tradition? Do you remember?
Yeah, actually, I do remember. I remember I came, my boyfriend was getting a job at Jefferson Lab, and we were living in Louisiana. His company flew us up to try to find an apartment, and my initial reaction was, well, where do we drink beer in Virginia? Because that's where my list is. I was like, let's not find an apartment, let's find a brewery. So then I found the brewery, and then I was like, where can we find our apartment? Which we ended up living with 2 minutes away from Tradition. And
Nice.
So we ended up
Smart.
coming here, and it was in the middle of the pandemic. Tradition, I felt, handled it very well. I felt like they were very well distanced. We felt safe coming here. We were here for 4 days. I think we came here 3 of the 4 days, and just kind of fell for it. And then it was always like, when we finally got here, it was like, can we go to the brewery tonight? I know we're not supposed to go out, but can we go to Tradition, please, kind of thing. And so yeah, I just have a lot of fun memories of like just learning about Virginia and then finding this place, and then just like it being very endearing to me from day one, because I have a spatial feel for things, and if I get that vibe, I'm just like, yeah, okay. And that's what I got when I came here. Yeah.
It is a good space.
What about you, Kevin?
My story is not nearly as intricate. I was working at Aleworks and was looking at other breweries to go to, and I was just having not like work
I
at.
forgot about that story.
I was living in Yorktown at the time when I first moved to Virginia, and I was just looking for local breweries, and we went to Capstan and wound up at Tradition, and Winston was he was always around, and he's what made what made the brewery stick out amongst all the other breweries that I went to.
Cool. So Tiffany has this shirt, and I thought about it when she put the shirt on. I was like, well, that's kind of like an homage to like Brian and Winston, which was their past brewer, but Winston matters.
Yeah.
Winston
matters.
the dog himself.
He is so smart. Like
yeah.
I loved just watching him jump up on chairs.
No,
and,
but
like-
wait, no, but I've been seeing y'all's Instagrams and stuff. Somebody got some dogs in the back of that brewery.
You got new puppers.
Yes.
I have been. My dogs are they're standard poodles, and the big one is named Ozzy, and the little one is named Scout.
Nice.
We had an Aussie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
is it or named for Ozzy Osbourne?
No, this was so.
It was
she
actually named for Ozzie Guillen. I was a big shortstop fan. That is a great 80s baseball reference. God damn it. If no one appreciates that, I'm leaving.
No, so she was.
Well, hot damn, that was a good drop.
I'm just gonna keep going. So she was a Australian cattle dog,
Okay.
and so I named her Aussie for Land of Oz / Australia.
Okay.
Oh.
Did you not know that?
No, I did not.
I told you this.
I was there when we put that dog down. I don't
Oh,
remember
that's
the name.
adorable. You guys oh.
No. All right, get into question 2. God damn it.
Let me see my profile.
When did Tradition open their doors to the public? A 2014, B 2015, C 2016.
It's gotta
You
be
said something earlier about 2014, so I know it's after
No.
that. I feel like.
No, they're not coming up on that far of anniversary. So I think it's C. Aren't they on their 6-year anniversary?
I don't know. Are they?
You tell me, goddammit, you have the answers.
Yeah.
We need
I'll
to
go
really
with
look
C.
for advertising if no one gets it.
Dave, you are way off. It's A, B, or C. I don't know how number 13 comes into play.
At least it's lucky beer in front.
No, wait. Was Ozzy number 13 as a shortstop?
Yes, correct.
There you go. Someone appreciated your.
Oh, of course Dave did. He's like the only other old person in the room.
How dare you?
So Vero says 2016.
I'm very
fact,
excited about it.
Trey says
So, I'm-
15. Right, and beer in front. Yeah, Ozzy number 13. Thank you, Dave. I don't think I'm being aggressive for the record. Oh,
No.
God, I got a jack off. Yeah.
Vera was the one who put the exclamation point, not you, Daniel. You just read it.
Oh, are you from Pittsburgh?
No.
Who said Jagoff?
Oh, no. So Dave's from Chicago, and that's the
Wow.
running line of his show is he calls out jagoffs.
Okay.
Okay.
I spent a significant time in Pittsburgh. I went to graduate school in Pittsburgh, and that's a very Pittsburgh-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've been to Pittsburgh.
I've been to Pittsburgh.
Ugh, been to
I've been
Burbank.
doing some driving.
We
All
did
right.
driving.
All right, so it's
So-
obviously C.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's C.
Yes.
Um,
I'm 2 for 2 on trivia, bitches.
yeah. So they opened their doors 2 years after making that sketch of kind of what their plans were for this brewery. And you are right. This summer actually marks their 6th anniversary. So we do have someone who we will bring on after trivia to talk about the event, but it will be held
Who
not.
also works for the brewery. It's not
She
just
does.
someone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, we
Some
found a
random
guy
person.
and we gave him a script.
Yeah, no. So that is to come. So Steve.
It's actually Dave. He's coming back because he just can't get off the camera.
God, I
know?
love it.
But yeah, so they're holding their 6th anniversary, not this weekend, but next weekend. And wait, where'd they go?
Awesome.
I love it. I'm out.
All right.
And Phil's
At least I'm not
from-
alone this time.
Oh, you're 100%
No, I-
alone, like always.
Oh, I'm not frozen. Are you guys frozen? Am
You
I
were
frozen on
frozen?
your end?
Am I frozen?
I don't know. I'm not.
God, I
Do
love
you
it.
want to build a snowman?
Nothing would
Oh,
make me happier
well.
than if you froze, you just started singing.
Well, shall we keep moving with trivia until they get back?
Sure.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway,
Alright.
6th year coming up. It's their 2nd annual Brewers Invitational.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which we're going to
We'll
learn
be
about,
talking
a little
about
bit
that shortly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, wait, is this question 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I hate to
All
be
right.
the drunk in the room, but
Oh, I've been waiting.
yes, we have.
Oh, they're back.
All right. So,
Is
Typically at this portion in the show, we're into the third question of trivia, which means we're going to crack this beer and have some sips and go
How'd
through
you never ask?
it. So this week we are drinking Public Presentation from Tradition Brewing Company right here out of Newport News, Virginia. So we're going to keep sipping on it and see what happens as I continue to kick ass in trivia. True or false? Public Presentation is the second beer in a series highlighting people's worst nightmares. Trey says false. Kat says false. Fuck it.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
False, maybe.
50-50. I feel like this is the only week I'm going to kick ass on trivia because I know everything about this place and beer.
welcome.
So Vera is very upset that these are lies. Like it's not even false. Lies. God damn it.
It's just lies. It's not true or false. It's just
Nope.
lies.
So this is false.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not the second one. You tell me, Tiffany. I don't know the answer. Actually, Kevin, you tell me.
Kevin
This
and
is
Abby.
all
Yeah,
here.
you tell us.
This is the
Well,
one you know the answer.
Yes. This is actually the first in a new hazy series that we're trying to do. Before this, we had what we call the spam series, where there were a bunch of essentially like common spams that would happen with people, like what were some of them like.
Oh, like
Like,
we're contacting you about your student loan forgiveness, or you want a free Caribbean cruise, or your social security number has been,
Your car
deactivated.
warranty.
Yeah, your
Yep,
car
car
warranty.
warranty,
So like common inconveniences that people are very aware of and that they kind of like leave by the wayside as like very common frustrations and kind of get left behind, but everyone knows that they bother everybody. So we kind of try to play off that kind of common tie with this guy.
Yeah, and so my idea was initially there was something. The idea that stuck in my head was I wanted to do a cream ale that was called like running through a cornfield naked, or something along those lines. And just through kind of workshopping that, it kind of turned into different people's fears about different things about being naked. There was a lot about being naked and stuff like that.
Our IT just has a lot of questions.
I mean,
Google search.
only
Just for that.
Yeah.
Kevin, you got a thing for the nudity because you got a nude guy on the screen.
Socks on.
So
Socks.
Anyway,
I'm all for it. I'll DM you later.
We just really enjoyed the idea, and then as soon as kind of we hit on like people's anxieties and fears and stuff like that, then just ideas just started popping left and right, and we were like, yeah, let's do it.
So this is the first one, which means there's
Yeah,
more to
the
come.
first one. We actually brewed the next one in this series. Was it yesterday?
Day before yesterday.
The day before yesterday. It's going to be called the Entertainer.
Oh, it's,
So you made my beer. Thank you.
Yeah.
So these are all hazy IPAs that you're doing,
Oh my goodness. Did I?
correct?
No.
I
No,
don't think I did.
Okay.
no.
It's not a bunch of hazy because it says it's a hazy IPA series.
So this is the hazy IPA series. Yes.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
So it's all hazies. The next two more that are coming out.
Yes.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little bit different than the last. So our previous series were kind of like the same base beer, and then working with different one-off hops to kind of highlight the hops. That's not our intention for this series. It's to have a truly unique beer pertaining to the different ideals for each beer. So the next one will still be within the hazy IPA understanding of that style, but it's not going to be just the one-off of the next beer. It's going to have its own life, much
Cool.
like everyone's own anxiety.
All right. Well, so then the hazy IPA leads into the next question of trivia. So let's just get into that.
Yeah, I fucking dare you.
What the heck is a hazy IPA? Select all that apply. A, an unfiltered West Coast IPA. B, an IPA that adds hops at different times. C, an IPA with fruit additives.
These are all wrong. That's the shitty part. Why are you trying to fuck with me?
At least one of them is correct.
What?
Yep.
Not since Wednesday.
We changed beer rules on Wednesdays. Don't we?
We changed beer rules on Wednesdays. Trey says B. So it's an IPA that adds hops at different times. Kat says B and C, an IPA with fruit additives. Vero's getting complicated. B and first part of A. No, that's
Well,
not
it's-
part of the question, Vero. No, ma'am.
Well, because it's an unfiltered IPA in a sense, but I don't know if it's an unfiltered West Coast IPA.
That's what Vero's getting at.
Yeah.
So I tend to agree with Vero in the sense that it's definitely B, but
Yeah.
A is a loaded question.
So what's
Yeah.
your final
I'm just
answer?
going with solid B.
Yeah,
But I
me
can't
too.
wait to hear from the brewers about this one.
I love the fact you'll go with solid B versus solid D for the first time in your dating relationship. All right.
I'm a solid
Can't
double
even-
up.
Can't even fight it. All right.
Can't even argue with it. All right,
Mm-mm.
so please, somebody who actually brews fucking beer, tell me what the fucking hazy IPA is.
Abby?
It's when you throw shade on an IPA.
No. So a typical West Coast IPA is going to have just a super like strong bitterness up front. They're going to tend to have a little bit of crystal malt to kind of balance out the bitterness. And you'll have piney, resiny kind of flavors. But it can go the gamut. But the signature, for me at least, is kind of that bitterness up front. The hazy IPA is kind of, I believe, brewers attempt to get a lot of hop flavor and aroma without having some kind of palate wrecking bitterness. So we would use a technique called first wort hopping, where instead of just throwing the hops in like when you first start to boil, which is the traditional way of doing it, you actually you throw hops in as soon as you start running off from the mash, and as that liquid's heating up, the hops are already in there and they're kind of incorporated. And what that does is that it takes the edge off of the bitterness. So when you calculate the bitterness, the IBUs are going to be the same, but your perceived bitterness is going to be completely different. And then a lot of these hazy IPAs, they tend to go towards the fruity side. So I can understand anyone who would think that C would be the answer because they were getting so much flavor and aroma from these hops, and there's so many new hop varietals coming out that you make them taste like any fruit.
Because they're added so late, they're not boiled off, and the
Yeah.
dry hopping is so heavy that they're not losing that aroma in the fermentation vessel as well.
That makes
And
sense.
then on top of that, the part that makes it hazy is we're throwing in wheat and oats and stuff to kind of soften up the malt profile as well. And then add a lot of proteins that won't fall out. And with public presentation, I actually brewed, we used a Kolsch yeast instead of like a traditional like English.
Yeah, look, as everyone grabs the beer and goes, "What do you mean you use it?"
Oh yeah, I used to
Bro.
the culture is
Bro.
oh.
Well, that's interesting, just because I don't normally like Kolsch's, so I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, everyone
Where
grabs
is
the beer
this?
as soon as you said that.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Hmm.
As if I would know. All right.
Stop having ideals about which styles you like and just try all the beers all the time.
Oh,
Oh, I
that's,
do.
Absolutely.
Again,
Yeah, that's a
follow-
given.
follow all our individual untaps. It's literally what we do.
Real problem.
It's a real
Wait,
problem.
so what exactly was the answer then here?
B.
B. So the
It's just
first wort,
B. All right.
first wort hopping is first wort and then whirlpool hopping. But in a West Coast IPA, you're going to whirlpool hop as well. But in hazy IPA, your main hop additions are going to be before the boil and then after the boil. You're not
Right,
going to throw
your first word. Yeah.
And while a lot of IPAs and hazy IPAs specifically have that fruit forward flavor, it's
Mhm.
specifically just from the hops. You can add fruit to it, but that's not required.
hop. And then with adding like oats and stuff like that, it'll add like a creaminess that will help enhance like the stone fruit flavors and stuff like that.
And proliferate the mouthfeel as well.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been a lifetime of me trying to proliferate the mouthfeel, but
That's my
we're
only
50,
fan.
50 minutes in, and we just first heard about mouthfeel.
God, that is a
I'm
record.
upset about it.
that is a record.
Especially with the hazy IPA.
All right, if we got one more question,
I
we
will name them, not for
All right. True or false? Tradition Brewing and the Wish You Were Beer Show will have a collaboration beer together in the future.
True.
Yeah, it's on
No,
record.
That's my assumption.
I love this sucker question because normally this is the part of like trivia where we'll be like, hey, does your brewery have merch that I can get? And like they're out of state somewhere or wherever. And I'm like, of course, yeah, whatever. But now here we go. So yeah, great. We'll see you guys in 3 weeks when we can do a beer together.
I think it's more than that. We started looking at the schedule. It's a little out.
Yeah, we production scheduled.
We did look at it for a long time.
Yeah, we'll come up with the.
That was probably the drinking, though.
I
We
mean,
looked
we-
at it for a long time. Words,
We were
dates,
also drinking.
percentages.
Kevin has a face of regret right now. He's like, what did I agree to last night? What did I agree
Kevin's
to?
face just said, fuck, did I tell them we would do a beer?
And Abby's like, it's going to be my first
I don't
one.
know.
Even better. All right. So let's talk about public presentation now that we've all had a couple of sips of it, and by that I mean Phil's done with it.
I'm close, yeah. That's
So-
I also say that on my OnlyFans a lot, though.
Gotta hate you.
I mean, now we got
I'll
to.
see myself.
Yeah. I love when Phil just takes himself out.
He's like, I've got people to see on my other website.
Yeah.
It's my favorite when he was like, I'll be out for a minute. I need to recollect my thoughts.
So look at my
Oh shit, he's back.
It was quick.
very quick.
There
Something
was
I
a
also
part of me that was worried you weren't coming back.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about this goddamn beer.
Let's talk
So
about
I'm smelling a Kolsch yeast.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, shut up.
You should not have given her that leg up on the competition. No, so I love the fact that this is the first of a series. Whether obviously it's not your first hazy you've ever done, like the world exists. We've all done hazy beers like 100 times over, but to do a hazy series, this is your first version of it with the can art's great. I love the idea of capitalizing on like actual fears. Like we're all scared to talk in public. We're all scared to.
As we do a live show every week. But
Has anyone watched this show? We're fucking
No.
terrified of it. But I love the idea of it. I love the concept that we're going to continue to build on it. I'm interested. So you mentioned the Kolsch yeast, but what else separates this specific hazy from maybe some others that you've done?
So we did. What was the other one? I did YET and Cascade. So yeah, I used a blend of hops from American hops and New Zealand hops. The YET, which was fairly new to me. I had never used it before, but I really love using hops from New Zealand. They tend to have really tropical and kind of stone fruity flavors. And then a go-to for me is Cascade. It's a super versatile hop, and I wanted to see how the two would pair together. And
Nice.
That's what I did. On top of that, let's see. So this is kind of just the set standard for how we're going to be doing hazy IPAs. I'm also working with, excuse me, I've been drinking.
Correct answer, sir.
Who does that?
I'm working with different yeasts and blends of yeast to try to create different flavor profiles. So the next hazy IPA that we're doing that isn't part of this series. We actually had one of our general managers passed away from pancreatic cancer. His name was Howard, and we did a beer in his honor called Smiling Eyes. And that's going to be a hazy IPA, 7.9%, with Citra and Galaxy are the hops in that one. And that was where I started to do the hop or yeast blends using American ale yeast and Kolsch yeast to try to see what kind of flavor profiles we can get.
And that's what the entertainer was. We harvested that for entertainer.
Yeah. And then for the next beer in the hazy series, we were actually harvesting the yeast off of that and then putting it into this following.
I think yeast harvesting is one of my favorite things
I did
ever
that
in the
with
beer
bread.
industry. I know, like it's
I'm
such a
surprising.
wild
That's
animal.
my favorite.
Yeah. It's such a trip. Like one thing I never thought would exist in the world was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna harvest this yeast and then move it over here and make another beer with it. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, weirdo?
I've been
But-
doing that with my
You can
sour.
pay this much money or do this much work. Pick one.
No, so the business aspect of it like gives me a raging hard on, but the biology of it was super weird, and I wasn't prepared for it, and I was
The
like,
biology of me having a hard on is really weird too, but it happens.
shouldn't be that weird. Hey, Andy and Katie are here.
You ditched your parents.
Sorry, Andy and Katie are good friends of ours, and they're out of
I
town.
don't think they've missed the show.
No, so he even texted me tonight,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Hey, sorry, I don't
He's
know
like,
if we're
"We're
gonna
not
be able
gonna
to
make
be
it."
there."
Like,
No
no
I
one.
don't care.
Yeah.
We should
they're
block
not-
them from the show. They're out now. Nope.
I love it.
So, talking about yeast, this is what I really love about brewing is that to me it's the perfect blend of like just brute force and science. Like
Yeah.
at the beginning of the day, I'm going to be moving a literal ton of grain, throwing it on my shoulder, and then throwing it into the mill. And then halfway through the day, I'm going to be harvesting yeast and looking through a microscope and counting and checking viability, and then using like scientific notation to calculate what my pitching rates and or pitching amounts are going to be. It's awesome. I just really love that aspect of it, and especially when you're working in a small team like we are. We get to cover every aspect from grain to glass, whereas when you're working at bigger facilities, maybe you're like just task oriented. You're only doing like this one thing
Every day, all day.
Yeah.
So every day's a new adventure on things that I can fuck up.
Yeah, well, it's really cool, especially for me coming like from not from the brewing world. I really love to bake and everything. So like coming from being really interested in cooking and recipe development, and then like having a strong like maker appeal, understanding living things and how they work was really integral to me. And then when he gave me the opportunity to like learn with that, like take that and like use what I'm already passionate about and like try to run with something I'm a little bit more familiar with as opposed to brewing, which is almost completely foreign to me. I felt like really lucky that he's a really good teacher and I'm getting to like make all these like little yeast live again. So it's really
I dig it. It's one of my favorite parts of the beer industry is that everybody's in the same boat. Like let's make a beer. Let's take what you do well. I'll do what I do well. And what do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And let's figure it out together. And now here we are in a whole new hazy series that
yeah.
I understand. I mean, Kevin, you're not doing the can art, right?
No,
No, he is. Don't let him tell you that. Okay.
Okay.
No,
We
he's
weren't
posing
saying,
for the
but
canner.
He's model. No, I mean I got really
That's Kevin right there. That's
well, like I said, I'm into this job, right? My background is in landscape architecture, so I do have a fair bit of like graphic design like in my background. So when I was given the I wouldn't even say the opportunity, the necessity for someone to create the art, I kind of fell into it and was bequeathed it and kind of hit the ground running. But I felt it was a very stagnant process. Huh?
You can't say queef.
Yeah.
Bequeathed.
Oh, bequeef. I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. Yeah, I just
Bequeathed.
no, like It cut out for a second. I just heard queef.
It
and I
keeps,
was like,
it
I
keeps
don't know,
cutting
bro.
out during the B part. It's weird. Kevin and Abby, on that awesome note, we're gonna cut you out. We appreciate you coming on the show.
No,
we do.
don't
We
cut
gotta
her
keep
out on
moving.
Next time me on my OnlyFans.
She's look. Her name is now Abby Queef. So we're moving on.
Hold on.
I'm going home.
Thank God you have a vocabulary for the rest of us. I apologize for making
You know what,
fun of
though? This beer is pretty quaffable, I will say.
Shut the fuck up, Phil.
You're so okay. Just like a sip.
Hey, listen, we have another person from Tradition to come on, so let's take 1 second. Kevin, Abby, thank you guys so much for being on. Like, seriously,
Yes.
y'all are both great. We spend a lot of time there. We're happy that you
We're
both
so
are
pleased
there,
that you let us- yeah, thank you.
and that the beers are
Cool shit, bro.
cool shit, bro. And that the beers are coming out the way that they are. Cheers, seriously.
And we're all gonna see you soon for the thing that we're about to talk
Correct.
We're about to talk about next.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Cheers, Kevin. and Abby.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank you
y'all.
for coming on.
Thank
all right, I'll
you.
pick it up. There we go. Yay. Okay.
All right.
We gotta keep this
Now
moving.
that we booted the queef ship off. I can't.
God.
All right.
If you want to follow Abby, she's at Abby Queef on
At
Instagram.
Abby Queef at onlyfans.com.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
brought
only
this
fans.
on yourself,
God,
Abby.
if that is an actual person,
Could you imagine everyone seeks
apologize.
it out and I'm like, oh no, she's doing different things than I thought. I apologize.
we just sent someone
Oh.
to some weird. Do not go there
Don't go there.
for your own safety.
Or do. I mean, look, I'm open. Whatever you're into, go.
All right.
Okay.
First of
Happy
all,
Pride.
Kevin and Abby, thank you so much for stopping by. Honestly, I love having brewers on. I love finding out how people got into this industry,
True.
where they're at in the industry, where they came from, where they're at currently. I fucking love it all. Give me all the smoke. That being said,
I don't like smoky beers.
we do have another guest on from Tradition, who is a long-standing friend of ours.
Yes, I have known Michelle forever.
Well, that's a loaded question
long
because
time.
you haven't known Michelle for 23 years. Right?
That's how old I am. Yes.
Correct. But we've known Michelle for years, and Michelle is basically the general manager, taproom manager, a litany of different hats.
Wears many hats
that she wears at Tradition. So we're gonna bring Michelle in to talk about their anniversary weekend. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, how are you?
Any better? I'd be Woody. Wait,
Thank
no,
you
you
so
didn't.
much for
that sounds different.
thank you for waiting in the room, Michelle. We appreciate it. That was
Yeah, no,
I mean
I've had a blast watching you guys. I cannot stop laughing. It's been so much fun.
yeah, it's really your own fault because you have amazing brewers that were so fun to talk to. That's
Dude, I love
you know.
those guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really awesome, and I love seeing them every day. So we're one
It
big
could be, yeah, you could have worse people to deal with at work for sure.
exactly. Yeah,
100%.
and they're pretty damn awesome.
So you guys have a big event coming up this weekend.
We do.
Not this weekend, next weekend.
Next
Yeah.
weekend, yeah,
Right. Yeah. Let me get the dates right.
25th.
25th. Yep. So we are turning 6 next weekend. So yeah, we are throwing our annual.
Oh, please. You're only 5.
I know, right?
See what I did? See what I did?
But no, yeah, we're gonna throw another beer festival this year for our anniversary. Everybody likes beer, and it just kind of was something I thought about doing last year when I came on board with Tradition as we were slowly starting to come out of COVID. I thought it was a great way to get the beer community back together, you know, and support our friends that have supported us. So
Yeah, and I think it's a killer idea because especially in the local area, you guys will have a bunch of local breweries, but also some folks from a little further out, like people you can't just go get.
There's 14.
Exactly. And that was one of my goals in doing this beer festival festival was to kind of branch out a little bit from the local brewery scene here, like the hyper local. So we have the brewery Cape Charles coming. We have Crazy Rooster out of Powhatan, which is up by the Richmond area. And I'm super excited. We have Seven Sounds coming from Elizabeth City.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the privilege of meeting them at an event earlier this spring with Abby. We were doing a beer showcase, and I was like, you know what? I want these guys to come. So yeah, just tried to like get a little bit different variety of breweries that you don't necessarily have access to right here in Newport News.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my favorite things. Like, so even the anniversary that we did with you guys, we shot a little bit of footage.
Yep.
Tiffany got rained out,
Yep.
and like lightning struck on
So, yeah,
on
I
our
was, like,
Instagram.
trying to film something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That was a muddy experience.
Oh, I
and it
loved
was
it.
monsoon.
I loved I took my shoes off and I was just running around
It was a
barefoot on the
blast.
grass.
It was so much fun.
yeah, because so from the pictures we showed earlier, the across the parking lot is like a little like open air wooded lot, and all the breweries will be set up out there. It's
Maybe. I don't know. Is that where they'll be shut up?
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's the nice shaded area with all the trees. Because it is June and it's hot and humid, and you know, hopefully we don't get a thunderstorm. But
True
yeah,
story.
it's just the perfect spot to have a beer festival, honestly.
And it's, I mean, honestly, it's just your 6-year anniversary, which is
Just
that's crazy.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I like you. I remember when Tradition opened. I'm originally from Hampton, but this is a 10-minute drive from my house. So yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of this and see what Abby and Kevin are doing and helping Tradition grow. And I think this also helps get us in front of people that aren't really familiar with our brand.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the more you bring in different beer cultures or different breweries from all over the place, whether it's a state or not, like, you just get introduced to a new crowd, and you get different beer, and
yeah, you know, I figured having people come from like Elizabeth City and Virginia Beach and Norfolk, a lot of people from Hampton, even though you think it's close, aren't driving that far to get beer, because we all know the tunnel traffic sucks and nobody's going through the tunnel to get beer. Let's be real, you know.
yeah.
But they'll come to Newport News if that beer is going to be here. So yeah.
Yep.
It's just pretty cool. And then you've got some live music by Red Stapler, which I know you guys are familiar with.
Oh yeah, Red Staplers.
They've been on our Instagram.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I love them. They're really good friends of mine. I've known them for years as well, probably as long as I've known you guys. So they're looking really forward to playing this. They're a lot of fun. So
I love it. So we'll be actually everyone from our show will be in town that weekend.
Yep.
So
Phil, you're coming?
And
Phil
Vero
will be in
will be
Virginia
here too.
Vero
will be here. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
we
super
will
excited.
we will all be there, and I apologize for any footage that I include you in.
That's okay.
So how much are tickets?
So tickets are $40.
Yep.
You can buy them online through Eventbrite. There's also a link on our Facebook page where you can purchase them through, and then you can buy them the day of the event, or if you live local, you can buy them in the tap room.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. And there's apparently a competition in the tap room when I saw Kate last, and she was like, "Oh, make sure you buy my tickets."
Yeah.
I'm like,
I always, you know, I think it's good to have a little friendly competition between the bar staff. I do it multiple times throughout the year with different things, like who can sell the most beer. But it's also just a way to encourage my bar staff to talk about the beers and the beer festival and get them excited and involved in it. You know, they're
Absolutely.
a big part of making this successful.
Oh, any day of the week. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Your local brewery's only as good as the people that you see.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like they've got a pretty good staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. And Phil, I'm just super excited to meet you in person. I've heard lots of great things about you.
Oh no.
Who have you been talking to?
It wasn't don't worry, it wasn't
with mom.
Yeah.
But weren't
My
you
mom
just
doesn't even
here?
say nice things.
Weren't you out here recently or no?
I have been, I've been to Tradition before, so I have been in and out of there. So.
Yeah. You
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
there, Michelle.
How is that possible that I wasn't here?
We sent you a message and you said, "Oh, Phil, no thanks."
Yeah, you were like, "Get me the fuck away from that dude," which was smart because I'm pretty sure that I stumbled into Tradition.
Oh.
Yes, you
If I
did.
remember.
Yeah, we did some
later.
drinking that day.
Yeah.
I walked as well as I just said Tradition.
There you
So,
go.
you know.
Well, no, I'm super excited to meet you in person. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I
and
can't wait.
We're looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
again, like we'll be there that weekend. What,
Awesome.
25th? Yep.
25th. Yep.
Yep.
And it's from 1 to 5.
Yep.
That's
And
great.
we'll hang out. We'll Instagram the shit out of it.
Love
So if you're watching and you don't know Michelle or you don't know Kevin or Abby or Phil for that matter, because
Yeah.
chances are you don't.
Or Vero.
Oh no,
Yeah,
everyone knows Vero.
yeah.
She has an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Oh no, just me.
Her OnlyFans are people in the
Just
comments.
me.
Her OnlyFans are the people in the comments.
Yeah, Andy and Trey. Great.
Where's Gabriel tonight? He's on our
Where's
OnlyFans.
Gabriel? No, but Michelle, I do want to thank you because we've been going back and forth about this, and you set us up to, talk to Kevin and Abby, talk to you. Like, honestly, thank you for helping us out and hanging out with us.
Well,
You've been
thank
here
you.
the whole time in the green room.
Oh yeah, well I've been doing work and listening and like dying laughing here, so I've had a great time. It has been awesome.
Oh, I love it.
It's nice that you were dying laughing. Most of our viewers just die. So, it's nice.
Well, no, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm not gonna die on you just yet. So
Yeah, not yet.
not yet.
I love it.
I appreciate you having us on the show. It's super awesome, and you guys are doing an awesome thing for the beer community. So I'm here to support you guys just as much as you are to support the local breweries.
Yeah, oh god, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week.
Breweries.
It's as hard as tradition. Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Michelle, thank you so much. We'll see you
Saturday
in a week
Yeah.
in a week,
Yeah.
like something like that. Yeah,
with
The
all
25th.
of us in the same room.
Good luck
Exactly.
out there.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Yeah,
I'm
thank
excited.
you guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank
See
you.
Cheers. Look
Cheers.
forward to
I got
meeting
nothing
you,
left
Phil.
to cheers.
Yeah.
Looking forward to meeting you too. All right.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
All right.
This is the longest show we've ever had. It's a new
Yeah,
record.
so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna skip Wish You Were Beer, review the beer
Yeah.
real quick,
What?
and let's
Yeah.
talk about what we're doing next week. Go.
Yeah, we got to review this beer.
It's a side
Okay.
This
show.
beer is garbage. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah.
I love it. All right. So that being said, Phil, you go first. What are we reviewing?
This week we are reviewing Public Presentation. It's a hazy IPA series from Tradition out of Newport News, Virginia.
How do you feel about it?
I
Talk to me, Goose.
love this beer. I'm a huge fan of this beer, and it's not just because I've had 2 beers and we had very friendly people on the show.
Sure.
Because I won't fake a review on the show, as we all
No.
know John Mallet.
Trust me, if you've seen our John Mallet episode, Phil looks in the new asshole, and he's
I won't be.
John Mallet.
Yeah. And let's just say, first off, the can art is much better than a fucking fish. At least we've got something going on here.
Bell's two-hearted. We will
Bells will never have us on again.
I can't wait that one day I'm going to meet John Mallet in person and have a full-on conversation about this. But I will say, to be honest, this is one of my favorite hazy IPAs I've ever had. And I only and here's my reasoning behind this is what up, Travel Man Dan?
Yeah, Travel Man Dan.
Travel Man Dan, I'll see you July 4th, bud. I'll be on your show.
Phil will be in his skivvies. Good luck.
Yeah.
At it.
For those of you who don't know Travel Man Dan, they got the weekly beer show, and they've invited me on their July 4th show. And it's just going to be me, so I won't be wearing much.
Wait, why won't we be there?
Because we'll be out of town.
I mean, we could just.
Nope.
It's
can't do
fine,
it.
Phil. You
You can jump in maybe, but
That's what I thought. I thought
Yeah,
we were
sure.
jumping in.
Travel Man Dan
Well,
has
we can
informed
all
me
be-
it's
Yeah, I'll just jump in drunk as fuck
Yeah.
and show up
Yeah.
on Travel Man
Yeah.
Dan.
I mean,
I'm gonna be as red as Phil's shirt because I'll obviously have been out in
Look.
the sun for an hour or two.
would you let this boy review this beer?
you have a couple rude boys and then you just jump on a show. That's
no,
what
that's
I did.
next weekend.
Now we're talking.
We've got rude boys here. We're drinking that
oh
shit.
my god, I forgot we got to do a whole rude boy
Yes.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So
continue.
back to Public Presentation. Here's why this is one of my favorite hazy IPAs. And basically for me, a hazy IPA sometimes gets too juicy.
Okay.
and gets a little too citrusy. And you have a sip of it and you're like, yeah, I can drink this once, but I can't drink more than one of them because my tongue is like burnt.
Sure.
This one doesn't have that at all to me. This one was so easy to drink. It definitely cut out the bitterness of the West Coast IPA, but left like a very pleasant flavor. It's a little fruity, but it's not overly fruity to the point where like it's like having, when you have 12 mimosas at brunch and then your tongue is burnt. I don't have that with this one.
I don't remember
I
what
think
my
we
tongue
brunch
feels like
different.
after that. 3 mimosas in,
So-
I'm like, I have a tongue.
So for me, this is like the perfect hazy IPA. And so I'm giving this a solid 4.5. This is,
Oh, nice.
I think this hazy IPA is just absolutely delicious.
Nice.
And it doesn't kill me. I could buy a 4-pack of these and I'd be super happy. So, and I don't say that, I don't buy 4-packs very often. So this one I would.
You cheap bastard.
I don't like the same beer more than once. You have it and then
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I can't,
Obviously,
most
one of us has been
4-packs,
married. Yeah.
I like
get
to
it.
plow through a few 4-packs, but it's like, if you give me
Trust me,
4
I've
of
been trying to
these-
plow through some 4-packs my entire dating career, but I
God,
don't
you've
know
just
what
been
you're
trying to
doing.
share yeast. But
Share yeast. All right, so
for
Vero's
me, 4.5. This is what
4.5 for Phil. Vero says we sent this to Vero, by the way, illegally. So if you have any worry about being caught by the IRS or anything else, we sent this to Vero.
I mean, Abby is clearly connected to the FBI in some way.
100%. You don't make
So
that.
this might not be the
chicken
show
nuggets
to make those announcements.
right.
Good old at Abby Queef. All right, continue.
At Abby Queef at onlyfans.com. So Vero says it's a great hazy IPA, not sweet but tropical. I get a slight bitter aftertaste, but not sure if that's the beer or the cooties. Vero had COVID recently. She said, love it. It's a 4.25. I don't know if that's the radio channel she's listening to
That's
or
the
the rating.
score.
Oh, it's a score.
I mean, at least she can taste with Cooties 19. So that's good.
But Vero knows people. Obviously, they gave you COVID.
Yeah. Who's next?
All right, so I'll go next. Honestly, I do think this is. I agree with you, Phil. It's a really solid hazy. It's exactly what I wanted out of a hazy. I think there's always a funny game that gets played with adjuncts and what this is a hazy with, this is a hazy without, this is a hazy but not quite. This is just a hazy, and it's solid as hell. So 4 for me. Cool story, bro.
Cool shit.
Cool shit.
Cool shit.
Cool shit, bro.
Cool shit.
We're in the midst of making some merch, and Cool Ship Bro will be one of them. It'll just have a cool ship on the front of the shirt, and it'll just say Cool Ship Bro.
Yep.
And back of the shirt, Wish You Were a Beer Show.
Yeah.
So that's coming.
We have Yeah. If you'd like one,
Yeah.
go to our
We have
website.
money. Please help us.
We've got a secret Etsy. Try finding it. All right, continue.
Okay, my turn. Everything that has been said is accurate. There is a slight bitterness, Vero, but it's an IPA, so I expect that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that it's in this, even though it's a hazy, because sometimes hazies do kind of, like you said, get so juicy that
Right.
it's it is juice, and there's a part of me that's I really want this to be beer.
Right.
So I agree with you, Phil. This is a great IPA, a great hazy IPA. 4.5.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the series. If this is the start of the series,
I'm very excited.
let's go nuts. I'm interested.
Wait, if there's 2 4.5s and 1 4, isn't it a 4.5? Fuck Daniel.
No, I think we got to meet halfway in some way here.
True
No.
story. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not how
Just like my
marriages
first
work.
marriage, that worked
Yeah,
out.
that way Kevin and Abby can know who to give a free beer to next time someone's in Tradition.
I give you. We drank beer a lot last night. What do you fucking free beer?
Yeah, none of our beers last night were for
4.25 for public presentation from Tradition. That is a good show score for us.
Absolutely.
And it's a good beer.
Yeah. I agree. And I just want to thank Tradition, Michelle, Kevin, Abby. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We're looking forward to the anniversary weekend. The whole Wish You Were Beer crew is going to be involved, which is too bad for y'all. Yeah,
It's gonna be messy.
I hope you didn't want a good turnout because we're going to fucking ruin it. But
No, we'll be there.
yeah, that's what I said. We're going to ruin it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
We're going to be the beer royalty. I have tiaras. We can wear them.
No, but thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you're in the Virginia area, if you're in Newport News, if you can find them through Distro, check them out. They're fantastic.
Yeah. And because we're here, and I know we've had a great evening with Tradition, but we also have to mention where we're going to be on Friday before the event.
Oh, true story. Well, actually, we got to mention two things.
We got to do two things. Hold on.
Yeah, two
Oh
things.
my gosh, there's two?
There's
All
two.
right,
All
let me just quickly rest here. All right, let you guys do it.
I leave tomorrow morning.
We
for
leave tomorrow
Charlotte.
morning. Yep.
So we sent out an email to Untapped about their Charlotte Beer Festival, and they sent us media passes. So Tiffany and I will be in Charlotte starting
They're so
tomorrow.
dumb.
It's so stupid.
Why? We are not cool.
My
But
sweet Claire, whoever Claire is that works for Untapped, you are.
Thank you, Claire.
soul.
She doesn't work there anymore, I'll tell you that.
No, she's been fired. I tried to call her today. There's a good chance we don't actually have any passes to this.
She's
no,
at
so
Claire
we'll-
Queef, but you know, that's a whole other story.
So Tiffany and I will be in Charlotte starting
with
tomorrow.
VIP media passes at the Untapped Festival
Yes.
with 100 breweries. So tune in and watch us get
Shit
smashed. Because we will be live streaming
Yes.
throughout the event.
True story.
It's
If
gonna
you if you think of it, can I join a live stream? Can you guys like jump on so I
100%.
can
Yeah,
come in?
yeah.
Let me know. I'll be
100%.
around. I got nothing else going on.
Yes. And 100% we send our OnlyFans money to Claire. Thank you.
Yep.
She deserves it. And then the following weekend, which is the 24th. So
Friday.
the 25th will be a Tradition. The 24th, we are releasing our beer, our collaboration beer with Virginia Beer Company, which if you followed the show, they've been on a few times. And
Yes.
if you follow our Instagram, you've seen us make the beer. You've seen us prep the beer. Tiffany will be canning the beer Monday.
Yes, we
That
do
is
Untapped.
crazy.
Monday, I help can our
Yeah.
Dortmunder.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Phil and Vero show up.
Mhm.
We do our actual thing. We've got fucking shirts.
We got shirts. We got matching shirts.
Yeah, they all say Dortmunder. I hardly know her.
Never heard
And
of
if you
Anyway.
want to match us, we have a secret Etsy.
it.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. So if you're in the local area or if you're close to us,
Or if you want to travel, be
Yeah.
real fans.
okay, yeah, nobody
Listen.
wants
Not
to
just only fans, be real.
Listen,
I've-
listen, Linda,
Linda,
listen. If
Nate,
you
Nate,
are,
shirts.
if you are looking
I'll send you a damn
for
shirt.
a reason to get your hot girl summer on, the
Or hot
weekend
day summer.
of the 24th and 25th
God.
is your fucking jam.
So 24th will be at VBC, 25th will be at Tradition, all day. Like, come hang
Yeah.
out.
So all of the Wish You Were Beer crew will be there. I don't know. Maybe the weekly beer show will be there.
No, Nate don't have the balls for that.
I don't think they will, but you know, maybe virtually.
Maybe virtually.
All right. So that's all the ways to see us and stalk us and make us feel
Correct.
loved. Let's talk about next week because we still have more shows. Because apparently
for sure.
we agreed
Yeah,
to
we
do
do.
this every week, and this is a thing we do every week now.
Yeah, people really sign up
It's-
to it. Okay.
Yeah. Next week we are drinking Trustworthy IPA from Trustworthy Brewing Company.
Boy, that seems redundant. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
they really went all in on that.
They really went all in.
Uh,
Trust me.
or-
they went all in.
just like my OnlyFans. I'm excited about this one though because I sent this one to the two of you. This is a brewery I've been to. It's in an industrial zone in Burbank, in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like
You said
you
Burbank?
pull up and you're like,
Burbank.
where am I? It's in Burbank. It's great to be
Beautiful.
back in Burbank.
It's great.
I love this because I went into this brewery one day when I was just like, I'm going to go to a brewery. And I went in and they had just opened up and it was just me and the guy behind the bar for like 2 hours. And that's like my favorite thing to do at a brewery, when you just show up and it's just the two of you and you just hang out.
That's called noon. It's noon.
Yeah. Well, that's when I started drinking.
Right.
That is honestly like one of our favorite times to roll in. So like sometimes we'll have like a Friday off and we'll just show up at noon and like we open like, well, there's sometimes we're like waiting outside.
We don't close it, but we open it.
Yeah, we're too old.
What's always so great about that is the person behind the bar is always like, well, we've got this new thing on tap. You want to try it? And you're like, that's why I'm here at noon.
Yeah.
Like,
Pope wear a funny hat.
people they're always willing to like let you try shit at the beginning of a shift.
True story.
That's what I love
you're
about
hanging
it.
out with the wrong people. They let you try it whenever.
Noon is the new happy hour.
Agreed.
Yeah, but when it's busy, they're not as friendly. You know, like when you're just there and they're cleaning up. They're like, yeah, let's just do this.
I know you just posted this one. Noon is the new happy hour. I've been trying to like tell my colleagues this, coworkers.
Co-leaguers?
I was gonna say
co-workers?
coworkers and colleagues. It's fine.
Okay.
So far no one is on board, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Great. Enjoy France.
Well,
We're all
so come back
technically, in
next.
France, they are at that time. Sorry.
Would you let Phil close his show out?
Come back next Thursday and learn about Trustworthy IPA. This is an IPA.
We trust it's gonna be worthy.
No, don't ruin my promo. Thank you so much, Tradition, Kevin, Abby, Michelle. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We're looking forward to the anniversary. We'll post some more about it if you follow us on our social media. Keep up with it. If you're in the local area or if you're within 100 miles of the local area, come stop by.
Or if you just have some miles you need to use up.
Truth.
Or just really bored.
And for anyone who's making bets about if I'll be in the murder room next week, I won't. That's the thing you just learned. So I'll be in a new room. Next week, I'll be in a new room. So come back next week, find out what room I'm in, and come back for the show. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Check out the website. We did just put up some information about the Tradition 6th anniversary. You can click on it, learn about it, click through to buy the tickets on Eventbrite. So that's on our website as well. And subscribe, follow us on Instagram.
Don't pee your pants.
Follow me on OnlyFans. Follow Abby Queef on OnlyFans. Follow
Claire Queef.
Yeah. Oh, don't follow Claire Queef unless. Wow. Yeah, that is a lot of words. So many words. But Claire Queef gets real dark. So only follow that if you're ready for it.
I guess we'll see you next week.
We will see you. Let's just end on the word
Queef.
queef.